Hey guys, it's Anders.
Blake.
And Adam from TV's Workaholics and the podcast This Is Important and the Pleasure Is Ours. We'd like to invite you to treat your friends and loved ones right by gifting them something from Trojan, America's #1 condom brand.
That's right. Trojan Bearskin Raw is America's thinnest latex condom, which helps you enjoy a more natural experience to feel it.
Oh, I feel you on that.
Wait, what?
So pick up some Trojan Bearskin Raw condoms, triple tested and trusted for over 100 years.
Trojan, do your best. Get yours on.
Hello and welcome to Were You Not Entertained? I'm Daniel.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm James.
And we are covering another holiday movie. Obviously, that could mean a lot of things, but it's Christmas, or coming close to Christmas while we're recording this.
Yeah.
So we're covering a Christmas movie. And I think a lot of Christmas movies are
Bad?
Well, yeah. Yes. A lot of Christmas movies are bad.
Categorically so.
A lot of Christmas movies have to deal with almost all of them have to deal with family and, kind of accepting your family for who they are and enjoying the time you have with your family and being a better member of a family. They
all focus around one of two things. Either A, finding a family, being like a kid's story, or being like finding love, somebody to share Christmas with, or B, tolerating those assholes you already found.
We'll call that finding appreciation.
Yes. And this kind of has to do with the latter.
Yeah.
So it's more about a father who has good intentions, but he's not there all the time.
Yeah,
So,
you know me, and I like to try to find, so what is the message of this movie? And I'm just going to say we'll save this one till later, because there's some dark interpretations of this movie if you want to. So it'll be fun.
yes, absolutely. So all of that being said, we're covering Jingle All the Way, and it's an old 1996 old movie.
Wow, we buried the lead on this.
Well, yes, we absolutely did.
He hasn't
I mean,
said
that
the
being said,
title.
they've seen, they clicked on it.
Well, yeah. So if you haven't seen this, where have you been? And if you have seen this, well, there's just not a lot that can be said for it.
No, I've never seen this movie. I haven't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I managed to have missed it. I had seen the commercials when it came out, and I kind of felt like I had watched the movie, so I just never cared. And I'm not a big holiday movie kind of person. Like if the movie's set in the holidays, that's fine. And if it's focused around the holidays, that's fine. But I'm searching for a good movie, not one about a dad trying to find an action figure on Christmas Eve. Like, that's just not the kind of thing that's going to draw me to the movie theater. I watched this last night and I kind of had a great time. It was so dumb.
Yeah.
And I just sat back and enjoyed the train wreck.
I think that there's something to be said when you frame this movie in it's an old Arnold Schwarzenegger comedy, not one of the old action films, but
Like
an
Twins
old
or
Arnold.
something?
Right. They all just kind of fit.
Kindergarten Cop.
He fits in these comedies.
He does. They're all ultra instant classics.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm with you. I'm not a huge holiday movie fan, but my mother is.
Mm-hmm.
She's obsessed with anything and everything related to Christmas. And so this came out when I was a kid, so I was kind of the right age for Jingle All the Way. And I just remember watching it, and it was so much fun. It was so stupid, and he was such a good Turbo Man.
Yeah.
and as a small child, it was the idea of, having your dad turn out to be Turbo Man, which is the doll that you've been searching for, and who cares about the doll anymore?
Yeah.
Now your dad's got a jetpack, and he just beat the heck out of the guy with the brain in a jar, and
Just gonna ruin the whole thing. Not even a spoiler alert. You just
Right.
You
Describe the last scene of the movie in detail.
I'm gonna jump straight to the end.
Look, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say that this movie is,
Okay.
almost 30 years old. So
Man.
It is
spoilers cut off at 25 years, in
It's
my
25.
opinion.
Yeah, it is 25 years old. So
If you're listening to a podcast for the 20-something-year-old Jingle All the Way, you should be prepared for spoilers.
it's 25 years old.
Fair.
Math.
Yeah, you should absolutely be prepared for spoilers because we're gonna dig into it a little bit more too. Yeah,
Phil Hartman.
Rip
That's
Phil
the last part of the
Hartman.
movie.
Yeah, he is. Oh,
A filthy little wife stealer.
He's so good. He's excellent. I love it.
yeah. He played the role. Honestly, you have him. You have Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you have Sinbad.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, other than the wife and the kid,
Rita Wilson.
Rita Wilson, yes, and I was
And Anakin Skywalker. I mean, Jake Lloyd.
Yeah,
Jake
exactly.
Lloyd. There we go. That's yes, Anakin indeed. Yes. They're the main focus of this entire movie. There's obviously other people involved in the movie. There has to be, but I think that they all fit well together. They all kind of, I guess, embody the silliness and ridiculousness of each of their roles.
So well. Sinbad makes such a good angry postman.
Yes, he does.
He really does. And he's a great foil to Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's not a lot of other comedians that are his size.
Right.
Schwarzenegger's a big guy, and he didn't look that big next to Sinbad.
No, he looked fairly normal sized.
Right.
No, and I think there's a lot of moments in this movie that probably wouldn't fly today necessarily. There's a lot of
Yeah.
jokes in this that I think nowadays would be considered a little too offensive or too sensitive a topic, probably.
Agreed. Yeah.
Shamefully agreed.
Which I think makes this a really fun trip down nostalgia lane because, honestly, there's so many funny.
When you're allowed to make a joke without everybody being offended.
Well, and not offensive. So I guess to also say with that, it's not offensive in the sense that it's like a politically correct term or offensive term, those sorts of things. It's more making jokes about having a bomb in the mail or
Right.
things like that just nowadays
Or
aren't
a bomb
about.
blowing up in a skyscraper full of police.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was like, whoa, that wouldn't fly anymore.
Right.
It's, not cool now, but
it wasn't cool ever if it were real, but it's a movie and it's a comedy. It's a joke.
right. But that was before those conversations
I-
got a little bit more sticky in 2001.
Sure.
And I definitely think Sinbad was the perfect choice for this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I very slightly forget about Sinbad until I watch Jingle All the Way.
Or
Yeah,
you look into the Mandela effect.
Yeah. Does he exist?
Does he
Well,
exist?
No, there's the whole what is it? Shazam movie
Yeah.
that where Sinbad plays a genie
Yes.
Yep.
that supposedly exists that actually doesn't. It's Shaq and Kazam.
It is Shaq
It
and
is Shaq and
Kazam.
Kazam.
Yes.
Right. But there's a lot of people who remember it differently. And it's like their proof for alternate dimensions. And, it's like Bernstein Bears versus Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like,
I always thought it
You
was the
also were like-
Berenstain Bears, but I
yeah,
just
but I
didn't
was
read
like
it right.
4.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember it the wrong way too. I also remember a lot of things the wrong way from when I was a child.
Well, it's amazing what you read and don't actually read,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You've seen it a million times. You've heard it said wrong a million times. You go
Mhm.
with how it's said and not actually looking at the word and going, wait, how would that actually sound?
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Anyway.
Luckily, there's not that in this.
Yeah.
Right.
Jingle all the way. Jingle all the way is jingle all the way.
Yes, it does exist. It is, in fact,
It is a
Arnold
real
Schwarzenegger.
thing.
Unfortunately, that was a real memory.
Yes, exactly.
And it's
For
just-
all of the people that watched this and gave it a 34 Metascore, I feel your pain. But it's
I'm interested in the people who felt like they needed to go on and give it a negative rating. Like, you got into this movie expecting more.
yeah, exactly.
Where I want to know what movie they thought they were going to watch. That sounds way more interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in the mid 90s, you're going to see an Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas comedy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else you expected from it because this delivers on
100%.
what I would
Mhm.
expect. It's filled with hijinks and just super silly stunts and dumb, far-fetched things that are just
Lots of the Arnold Schwarzenegger face where he goes, ah, and opens
Yes.
his mouth really wide and shows all his teeth and bulges his eyes.
yeah. And I mean,
Stop hitting me, lady.
I'm not a pervert.
that was a classic. And then
Exactly.
going to the factory to buy these knockoff dolls that don't have the correct phrases or whatever.
Right.
There's something amazingly funny about giant Arnold Schwarzenegger in a factory filled with elves.
That is the favorite action scene in this whole. It's the only action scene really in this whole thing.
Except for the end.
Well, so you've got the end, you've got this, and then the reindeer, and that's pretty much like
Which is great when he destroys the neighbor's house to
got the-
steal a
you-
gift.
You also have the fight in the toy store. I can't say it anymore. The movie ruined me.
yeah, but that's not a real. I mean, it is, but it's not like a real fight, right? That's everybody else around him fighting, and him kind of trying to wade through it and
Yeah.
grab, trying to grab that stupid Super Ball. Seriously, who's like, we're gonna raffle off this toy with Super Balls? Go get them!
Right.
It's craziness. It's very fitting. It is very, very fitting. But yeah, no, that is an actual fight scene when he gets to punch a bunch of Santa Claus,
True.
which is hilarious. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Even the
Have no
karate
doubt.
Santa that came out with the candy cane nunchucks and
The moment that I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger punch a reindeer, I was like, oh, this is why Daniel recommended this movie.
yes.
I was like, I totally understand why he likes this. And then him
Yes,
drinking
indeed.
beers with the reindeer afterwards, I was like, all right,
Yep.
figured it out.
There's so many classic moments throughout this movie just sprinkled in there. It's just
It's
great.
so perfectly dumb.
It is. This is a crap movie. It is horrible, but it is so bad that it's good.
It's just fun, and it never tries to be anything but stupid and fun.
Right.
It knows exactly what it is,
Yes.
and it's not ashamed at all.
Until the
And I
very
kind of think that's beautiful.
until the very end. And then I'm like, come on, man. The kid gives away his toy. All right, fine. Give your toy away to the criminal. He only just tried to kill you. It's
the
okay.
spirit of
It's Christmas. Yeah, okay.
Yes, it did get a little violent. Sinbad really did try to murder that small child.
Yes, he did.
In the pursuit of a Christmas toy.
Yeah.
Sinbad's going to prison for a long time. Attempted murder of a minor, threatening explosive device, actually holding police hostage and detonating an explosive device. Like, this guy's prison sentence is not going to be short.
Yeah, how's he going to get the stupid doll to his kid?
Right.
He just got arrested with it.
That's going to be in evidence.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's also not somebody who's earned any favors with the cops he threatened to blow up.
No. And did blow up.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some very...
Hey, it's Nikki Glazer. And even reading about Trojan Ecstasy Ultra Rib condoms is kind of getting me juiced up, if you know what I'm saying. Each Trojan Ecstasy Ultra Rib condom has ultra smooth premium lubricant inside and out for a more natural feel. You guys know I love lube. I don't leave home without it. And now I'll leave my bottle at home and just bring the condoms. Also, they have extra deep ribs at the base and end to increase stimulation. So these condoms are for both of you, really. This condom has a unique design that lets you feel the pleasure and not the condom. To be honest with you, if I went out with a guy and when we're getting down, he brings out a Trojan Ecstasy Ultra Ribbed condom, I'd be like, this dude knows what he's doing and he's considered me in this. Thank you. When I think condoms, I think Trojan condoms. So try Trojan Ecstasy Ultra Ribbed condoms. Triple tested and trusted for over 100 years. Feel your best. Get yours on.
all in moments in this, especially in that final fight scene where they just go for it. There is no sense of possibly we should be a little more gentle with this. No, it's like I'm gonna dress up in a costume and I'm gonna chase this little kid up a ladder and try to knock him off this building.
And it's rated PG.
And it's rated PG.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
The moral is if you really need a toy for your kid on Christmas Eve, murder.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Exactly.
All right. It's time. It's time for the disturbing moral of this story.
Yes.
Because that one wasn't.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty bad. It's pretty close. I think there's lots of bad morals in this movie. But the one that didn't shock me, but I was just like, yeah, I don't know if that would work nowadays, is the idea that the dad doesn't really need to be there for his family. He just needs to do some big grand gesture on Christmas Eve to be the hero. Because dad wants to be the hero, but he doesn't want to go to, sure, he wants to go to the karate recitals, but that's so he doesn't get in trouble.
Right.
He doesn't make the time to go. And being Turbo Man for one day might buy him another year, but that's a family, destined to break apart.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think again that sort of falls into the 90s trope of men in these holiday movies because, in the Santa Claus, Scott Calvin's a lot like that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being with your kid. It's about being forced to leave your holiday party early to have your kid on Christmas and then get rid of him.
Yeah. Be the hero for the moment and then disappear and not take any responsibility.
Buy many good
Business
gifts
first.
and then get back to work.
Yes.
Right.
Burn a turkey. Eat at the Chinese food
No,
restaurant.
we're not here to talk about that. Yet another beloved holiday film. But
okay, don't burn a turkey. Don't buy your kid a toy after you were told when to do it.
definitely don't kill Santa Claus.
And then run out and fight everybody all day long instead of spending it with your family, just to, again, not get the toy.
Right.
But you got to dress up. You got to dress up like Turbo Man. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that there wasn't a scene in this where Turbo Man was like walking up to the place to get dressed or whatever, and he gets clunked on the head and tied up.
Right.
And then Arnold Schwarzenegger goes and takes his place. Like
With
that,
like a ridiculously thick rope too.
Right. Of course.
Right.
Of course. No, they're going to wrap him up in wrapping paper or ribbon or something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
like
the
it's
one.
saran wrap, but it's wrapping paper.
Yep. Exactly.
Perfect. And then a bow on the top of his head.
And this again perpetuates that whole when someone's wearing a mask, you clearly don't know who it is. Because
All right. Do we have anything else before favorite scenes? Because we've been talking about this last scene for a while, and I'm just going to spoil it. That's my favorite scene. And I've been holding off some of my stuff, but like...
Yeah, let's go ahead and...
saving the goods.
Yeah.
I've been saving the goods, but like we keep coming back to this scene, so I kind of just like, it's time.
Yeah. Word vomited out.
All right. I knew it was my favorite scene when there was that like 2.5 second clip. It maybe not even that. It might have been maybe a second and a half of the guitarist in the guitar solo in the middle of the rock song when he's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
The way that dude sold me that he is some Joe who gets to be the guitar soloist in the Winterville parade in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was like, that guy is living his dream. I love this scene. And the way that I appreciated how everyone could genuinely pretend like they didn't realize that this giant man with an Austrian accent and a giant gap in his teeth is not your husband.
Right.
Like, how? How is that even possible? How many huge Austrian people are there in St. Paul or Minneapolis? Like, the suspension of disbelief is so wonderful. I appreciate it so much. It seemed like they had a budget for how much they could spend on the flying through the city with the rocket pack.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a huge argument, and the person who wanted a longer scene with lower quality won. And I kind of appreciated that as well. It was just so great. It was a train wreck. A horrible train wreck. It was immoral. It was ridiculous. There were overreactions when there really shouldn't have been, and then there was vast underreactions when there genuinely should have been concern.
Uh-huh.
I appreciated all of it. It was ridiculous on a fundamental level that is kind of genius, because it's hard to be that wrong on accident.
Yeah, it was an incredibly cheesy and deliberately overacted portion of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's not forget that it's supposed to be this big, long parade, and it just so happens that he has to give the toy away in front of his kid.
Right.
And he happens to be at the right spot and just immediately see him.
He sees him.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I know my kid's going to be standing right there, and I'm going to be ready to give him this
He's
toy.
not
And
half
also,
a mile back behind him.
Right.
yeah, and that the kid doesn't recognize you.
Jamie, how do you know my name?
And the kid's just all in. This is so cool.
Right.
Turbo Man knows my name. How
Well,
many?
you sound identical to my father, who I've heard my entire life and is the only Austrian accent I've ever heard.
And you have remarkably the exact same chin and gap in your teeth as my father, but you're wearing a helmet, so it can't be.
Yeah. It's the yellow visor covering your eyes that's throwing me off here.
Exactly. It's not even opaque. You could see his whole freaking face.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, it covered his hair. I don't know who you are anymore.
I got no
Right.
idea. Yes, your child has no spatial awareness. And
So good.
Yes.
it was so good. And that he just takes that toy and takes off running from the giant man also dressed up chasing after him. And that people just thought it was part of the show.
I love that he kicked him
Right.
in the junk, though. That was hilarious.
But that everybody in the audience is like, wow, this is a pretty choreographed scene. That little
This
kid
seems
just came
really
out of the
big.
audience.
What about the cop that's like, it's all part of the show, ma'am? How do you know?
We rehearsed this yesterday. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. It's a great scene. I understand why it's your favorite. It's so
There
wrong
were
that
some
it's
others
right.
that I were like, okay, that's my favorite scene. And then I saw that dude shred and I was like, no, this is my favorite scene. And
the
it just
fact-
got more ridiculous from there. But that moment, it was like maybe a second and a half. And I was like, you win, sir. You are the champion of this movie.
Indeed.
And
He
that
was
they
into it.
managed. They
It was
managed
great.
to make this scene feel like half the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really did. And it's only an hour and a half long.
Yeah, it's movie length, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you feel like that's the whole production right there. It's not, but
no,
it does feel like it.
but it's a solid 40%.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Yeah.
Mine's the you already talked about it a little bit. Mine's when he sneaks into the neighbor's house to steal the Turbo Man from under the tree and gets into the fight with the reindeer and breaks the window, starts a fire, punches the reindeer in the face.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not what it
was a
looks
close
like.
second. It's a good one.
Yeah, I did. I love that line too. It's not what it looks like.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks like you're stealing a toy from under the neighbor's tree.
I was putting it back after I stole
After I stole it.
because I'm a good guy.
Exactly. I was having second thoughts after I stole this thing.
Right.
Yeah, no, I really love. Again, that's one of those moments that you're like, wow, guy. Really?
Like, it took you to the back door to go, what am I doing?
You
like-
broke into the neighbor's house before you even stole the toy.
One step towards your neighbor's yard, you should have been like, dude, I'm not going to steal from a child. You know what I mean?
No.
Like,
That's,
as much as you
Yeah.
hate your neighbor, it's the kid's toy.
that's what an appropriate fatherly figure would do, but not Howard.
No.
Howard's so lost in the sauce of being a great Christmas dad that he's going to destroy the neighbor's house who's trying to steal his wife.
He's lost in the sauce of being a great Christmas dad. His SUV's been put on blocks and stripped. He's gotten in fights in the mall. He's almost gotten blown up. I mean, he's
had a
gone
day.
through a lot. I'll
Right.
give that to him, right?
I could see why he's not thinking straight. He's had a hard day.
Yeah. But yes, I feel like maybe if he even made it to like touching the doorknob and then going, what am I doing? But no. Yeah, he waits until he's almost completed the theft and then destroys the house.
Mhm.
That makes it better.
It does. And then gets caught and then laments about it with the reindeer that he punched.
Right.
Yes.
It's good.
Nobody understands me.
Right. Exactly.
Shared a 6-pack with the reindeer.
It's horrible. That's mine. This is my favorite scene.
That's a good
It's
one.
a good one. I loved it.
I did enjoy it too. Yeah.
All right,
Uh,
Rachel. What was your favorite scene?
Well, my favorite scene was the end scene, but since someone's already stolen that, I'm gonna go with my favorite scene was when he tried to buy the knockoff Turbo Man doll from Jim Belushi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because Jim Belushi makes such a funny slimeball Santa to me.
He
really
does.
He did such a good job. He's got the right sort of comedy and the way of like delivering lines to really carry that part off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have all the different variations of fighting Santas that come through. and,
The Santa Mafia.
Exactly.
absolutely, it's like a whole Santa horde from all fight styles of the world, and
It's
the
like,
elves and everybody in there is
I love
just
the giant
incredibly.
Santa.
yeah.
They're all violent and out for blood in their
violent.
knockoff Turbo Man factory. It felt like Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
And I just enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny, and especially how distressed, because something's wrong as soon as he's like, don't open the doll.
Right.
Oh, okay. Now I have to open the doll.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it falls apart. Not only is it speaking in Spanish, but it immediately disassembles itself as soon as he opens the box.
Right. It's not even glued together.
Yes.
No, right. Yeah, it is all the way bad.
Right.
Yeah.
You really just got ripped off.
And honorary mention for the way Arnold Schwarzenegger says Turbo Man throughout this whole movie.
I can't even.
I want to. I really want to, but I just no. I can't.
The
I
fact
can't
that
do it justice. Watch the movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
he definitely makes it his own.
I was entertained. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
an awful movie. But
It is.
man, I had a good time.
It is an awful movie, and I watch it about once a year.
Yeah.
It doesn't always make it into the rotation, but almost always.
I don't always want to watch a bad holiday movie, but when I do, I choose
It's
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Well, then I think that does it for Jingle All the Way, right?
Yep. It
Yeah.
does, I think.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you enjoyed our coverage of it. If you did, then please go online and like and subscribe. But make sure to join us next time on Were You Not Entertained?
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.